Oh, hey, it's you! I love you! Thank you for coming to the 30-minute bookworm workout with weights. So, of course, this one will be focused more on strength training rather than cardio. At the time that I recorded this video, I had two sets of weights that I regularly used. One is 15 pounds per weight and the other is 10 pounds per weight. For me, the 15 pound was the heavy at the time. I can go heavier now, and then the 10 pound was like medium or light. So get whatever weights would correspond to, to that for you. We'll start out with cliffhanger stretches. So you'll just bend over and touch your hands to the floor as much as you can. If you can't quite reach, don't worry. Just keep practicing. You'll get there eventually. And hold that for another 15 seconds. Not sure if it's helpful, but I was trying to give you a different angle there. All right, next up will be love triangle stretches. So just bend over to the side and try to touch the floor or your foot with your hand as much as you can, and the other hand goes up. Switch to the other side. Of course, the triangle stretch existed before the Bookworm Workout series, but I thought it was perfect to include as, since love triangles have been a common trope in books for, countless years. All right, now bookworms / inchworms. So you're just walking out on your hands. When you get to the floor, if you want to, you can warm yourself up with a little plank or an extra stretch or a push-up even. A few mountain climbers, whatever suits your fancy. This is just a nice one for stretching out your body while still getting in some movement. So it's a great little active stretch. All right, next up, going back to those cliffhanger stretches. And I call them cliffhanger stretches, of course, because cliffhangers are a maddening and effective, but also, yes, frustrating literary element or device designed to make people stay engaged, to make them want to come back from work, because they need to find out how the characters are going to get out of a terrible situation or what terrible news has arrived. All right, back to those love triangle stretches. I know that love triangles have fallen out of favor in recent years. Let me know your opinion on love triangles if you have a strong one. Whether you love them, hate them, or, tell me if you're ambivalent. Either way, back to those bookworm / inchworm walkouts. I always see these called inchworms, but of course, for the purposes of this workout, it has to be a bookworm. I mean, that's just the only logical thing to call it, right? Absolutely. You only got 10 more seconds, actually less than that now. Last one. Nice work. It is time to get to business. So first, you're going to do pacing runs with curls. Pacing runs, you spend about 3 or 4 seconds jogging at a light pace and then sprinting. So you're doing that while holding the weights at 90 degrees. And when you're ready, just start to curl while you are still running. This can be pretty tough. I do try to make it halfway through the move before I start to curl, though, because that static hold is so hard. But a good kind of hard. Just do your best, and I'm using my 10-pound weights for this move. I know I said that this is going to be more focused on strength rather than cardio, but I like to do both at the same time whenever possible. makes me feel amazing, and it saves a lot of time because I always try to do strength and cardio every day. Oh, yes. So now we are doing deadlifts with your heavier weights. Lift up your leg if you can, and then press without letting your foot back down to the floor. If you can. If you do need to put your leg down, that's perfectly fine. If you need to keep both legs down the entire time, also fine. Deadlifts can be challenging enough even without trying to throw balance into it. I have to go really slow because I struggle sometimes with balance, as you can see. But this is representative of rising and falling action. You fall for the deadlift and you rise for the press. Nice. Okay, next we are doing panzer squats with rows. Now if you've done the cardio version of this move, you already know that I kind of naturally incorporate a row into it because you're supposed to act like you're pulling your pants up. And that's what you're doing here, except you're using weights. So as you can see, I'm not hopping this time though. Just going into a deep squat, coming up with that row, getting as high as you can, and you can go slower if you want to. In fact, honestly, it's really good for your muscles if you try to do that row a little bit slower. It takes more strength and endurance to hold that tension. But if I'm not thinking hard about it, I tend to do things fast. At least as fast as I can. Okay, next we are going to speaker tag shuffle jumps with presses. I'm using 10-pound weights for this one because the weights are going to go over your head, and, while you're jumping, and I normally recommend medium or light weights for things like that. Alright, so it's just a couple jacks with those weights and shuffle to the side. This is just supposed to be a silly little representation of speaker tags. Each jump represents one of the tags, basically. And if you're not familiar with the term speaker tags, maybe you know them better as quotation marks for dialogue or quotes, of course, or new words, odd terms, things like that. And if you don't want to shuffle at high impact, just walk from side to side, and also you don't have to hop when you're pressing. Of course, you can just do the presses. Alright, turning point lunges with lateral lifts. So you're going to lunge on one side and turn on your feet, like pivot on your feet to the other side, and at the same time you'll be lifting your weights to the side, just like that. I'm using 10-pound weights again for this one. Take it slow if you need to. Even slower than me right now. Wow, I didn't realize I was lifting up my arms that high. Dang. And if you have any trouble with the lateral lifts, you can switch to lighter weights or just curl instead. It doesn't work the same muscles, but at least you're working muscles. Didn't have time for another one, so just stopped. Alright, back to the pacing runs with curls, once again with the 10-pound weights. And get ready, get set, and go. Now, of course, if you have any trouble running or jogging with the weights in your hands, you can switch to a walking in place, or marching in place. Whatever's more comfortable for you, just don't stop moving. And keep your arms up for curling. I'm not gonna lie, while I was doing this one, I was like, what was I thinking? This move is terrible. I hate it. It was just tough. It is tough to hold weights in your hands while doing cardio, but I always find it to be very effective. Okay, deadlifts with presses to symbolize rising and falling action. And with your heavier weights, go. So you see, I had to put my foot down for that one. Oh man. I must have realized that I forgot to switch legs, so well, I hope that you're doing better with this move this time around. If you didn't lift up your legs last time, maybe try it this time. Oh, dang. All right. To get it even. All right, back to the panther squats with rows. I want to say I think I recorded this in July of 2024. Oh, and I think that I'm pretty sure that I could do it better now. Maybe someday. Maybe someday I'll go and redo these. All right, so you are pulling up those pants. They are big, heavy pants, but you gotta pull them on. You pantser riders, you're the types who make things up as you go along, and that requires a lot of focus and keeping track of where you are and a lot of endurance. So you can do it. Okay, speaker tags, shuffle jumps with presses. Going back to my 10-pound weights for this one. Get ready, get set, and shuffle! Oh, never mind, we're starting with jumps. If you started with the shuffles, no worries, it's perfectly fine. Just remember that you have to rush around to the beginning and the ends of every sentence, every sentence that needs quotation marks or speaker tags. Otherwise, readers are going to get confused and then they won't have a very good reading experience, and that's just sad for everybody. So don't give up. You got to do it. You just got to do it. Nice work. Okay, next is turning point lunges with lateral lifts once again. I don't think I explained it the last time we did this move, but turning point, a turning point in a story is similar to plot points and pinch points in that they kind of define the story and its direction and the characters and the stakes. I think that the main thing that makes it distinct from other points is that with a turning point, there's literally no return from it. You turn and then you cannot turn back. Try to keep your knees more perpendicular to the floor. Fortunately, my knees are not going over my toes. I try to be very conscious of that because I don't want to hurt my knees. Just one more little lateral lift. I struggle with letting myself finish moves, that involve both sides and ending on the same side that I started. So sometimes I just do something like that instead. Anyway, we are on a water break. Yay! I hope you're enjoying this one so far. If you're a bookworm, you might have spent a lot of time carrying stacks of books around. So maybe you're already pretty strong, or maybe you are trying to get stronger so that you can carry bigger stacks of books around more often. Either way, whatever your goals are here, I hope that you feel like you are getting closer to them. We are about to start up again with the plot twist circuit. Lunge forward and then twist toward the lunging leg. I'm holding 15-pound weights right now. Go lighter if you want to. If you want to challenge yourself, You can lift your arms to your side again, to your sides again as you are twisting. I find it's challenging enough just to hold them at chest level, especially since I'm using 15 pounds. So this whole circuit will be twisting. That's the theme of the plot twist circuit. So be gentle on your back, go with lighter weights if you feel like you need to, or just omit the twists. I believe that you will be twisting in spirit, and that's enough for me. All right, same thing, but on the other side. I know, this is tough. I feel like lunges are one of the best body weight exercises. They can be challenging enough all by themselves, but when you add in weights, you're literally making yourself heavier, and you have to be able to hold all that weight up basically on just one leg. Well, I guess it's technically both legs, but there's definitely more emphasis on the working leg. And good job, you made it. All right, next up will be plot twist knee ups with kicks. Okay, so I'm using 10-pound weights for these. You'll lift up your knee and take your opposite elbow to it, and then kick while holding out your arm straight toward your toes. I think this is easier to watch than to explain. And you don't have to hold both weights for this, because as you can see, you're only working one side with these twists, and yeah, but I don't know. I tend to just grab both weights anyway for the extra challenge, or just to feel more even. I don't know. This is another one that requires good balance. Whew. All right. Same thing, but on the other side. Get ready, get set, and go. Now, while we are here, why don't we talk about plot twists? They can often work in tandem with other literary devices, such as red herrings and, well, turning points, which we did earlier. And they can be highly effective for surprising your readers, hopefully surprising them in a delighted sort of way. But it has to be done very carefully, to not feel too contrived or out of the blue. As a reader and or writer, let me know if there are any particular plot twists that you have encountered in stories that you thought were especially well done or very poorly executed. Back to the top of that circuit with lunges with plot twists, and I'm sure you're thinking, here's a plot twist for you, Ari. I hope all your socks are wet for the rest of your life. It's okay, I understand. My socks do tend to get pretty wet after homework. Not that you needed to know that. Whew. You are getting there, less than 10 seconds left. Hold on, I know that it sucks. Oh, look at me struggling, dang. Oh, man, I feel like I really do have to redo this workout, because I know I have better, my strength and endurance was pretty good back then. Good enough to create all these workouts and do them, but I know it's better now. One way that I know that it's better is that I asked my husband for heavier weights for Christmas because I'm now the kind of nerd who asks for exercise stuff for Christmas. Oh, my teenage self would be so confused. And I've had a lot of fun using them. Alright, but we're going to focus here. We are almost done with this move, and then it's just a couple more. Don't lose your balance. Go lighter if you have to. I don't give up very easily, even when I should. It is one of my flaws. So I probably should have gone lighter, but I didn't. Plot twist knee ups with kicks. All right. Now, if you have trouble with the with holding up the weight and twisting toward your leg or your knee, you can just keep the weights down at your sides. That's perfectly fine. You're still at least making it more challenging for yourself by adding weight to the move, by adding weight to your body, and by making yourself hold on to something that requires you to use your muscles. Okay, last move, you guys. Oh, I mean, well, last move of this circuit. I should have specified, sorry. You're not that close to being done. Alas. Okay, other side and go. Here are some famous plot twists in history. Let me know if you think they deserve their fame. Well, just about any Agatha Christie novel. My personal favorites are And Then There Were None and Murder on the Orient Express. Plot twists in general are so important from creating a great thriller or mystery. In fact, the twist is kind of the whole point. And more recently, there was Gone Girl, which I thought was very intriguing. Let me know if you agree. Okay, we are heading into the reading time circuit, and you're going to have a very heavy book. Roll out a mat if you have one and you feel like you need it. We're going to be using it pretty soon. I'm using 15-pound weights here, and just sit. Sit while holding up your very heavy book. Maybe it's a dictionary. Maybe it's the complete works of J.R.R. Tolkien or Tolstoy, or you know, maybe you've got you're reading the codes for going to the moon back in the 60s. Whatever it is, hold your pose as best as you can. All right. Next, we are going to rocking chairs with static presses. All right, so probably I should have gone with 10 pounds for this one. I can usually do it with 15, but I was pretty tired at this point. But hold them up as still as you can while you're rocking back and forth. You don't have to do the hip lift. I just like to for the extra ab work. But you see how the press is, I guess it sort of becomes a curl as you come up, but the weights aren't really moving significantly from where they are in the air. And that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to keep them where they are, and at the same time you are working out your core. In fact, that's how you're working out your core here. Okay, sitting V-hold. Now you'll be reading a book while reclining in a nice comfy chair. You're like, sorry, I don't have any chairs here. Well, that seems like a you problem. See, I've got a perfectly good chair right there. I'm sitting in it quite comfortably. Don't you know the name of this channel is Nerdy Luxury or Nerdy Relaxation? Yes, and you can twist like I do if you want to, if you feel up to it. Think of it as getting yourself nice and cozy in your reclining chair. Sometimes you just gotta wiggle your butt around a little bit to make the cushion into the shape that you want. Okay, next is book throws with which is skull crushers with butterfly crunches. So your legs are out to the side, or your knees are out to the side, and as you are bringing your arms up for the skull crusher, you also come up with your core and pretend that you are throwing a book across the room as you are coming up with this crunch. If that's what you need to motivate yourself to find the strength and the momentum to get yourself up. Think about a book that you have thrown because it made you so sad or so angry. And if you want to tell me what book it was and why, feel free. Okay, we are back to the top of that circuit. Now we really are almost done. Not just with this circuit, but with this whole workout. All right, got my 15-pound weights and I am sitting down as low as I can. Oh man, I can get lower without those weights, but this is hard. You can do it though. You can do it. Sit down and tell me what you are reading. What heavy book would you have in your hands right now? Any books that you would like to recommend? I always enjoy recommendations. You know, my TBR pile is already sky high, but hey, never hurts to add more. All right, back to the rocking chair with static press. Now you're going to be reading in a nice, comfortable rocking chair. It's nothing so peaceful and comforting and soothing as that. What's that? You don't feel comforted or soothed right now? Are you sweating? You are in pain? You're cursing me and my entire family? Oh, that's weird. I'm not sure why. Everything's perfectly fine. See? Look, I'm just rocking there with a nice heavy book in my hands. I mean, not to make too many comparisons, but I just don't understand what the problem is. All right, sitting V-hold once again. So going back to my 10-pound weights for this move. On your butt, lift up your knees in a V shape, and there you are. Reclining and getting some reading done. Let me know what your TBR pile looks like right now. Even put a picture, send me a picture if you want to. Lost my balance there. If you feel like you need to get cozy on the chair, then twist with me. Like, alright, there's nothing cozy about this. Really? Are you sure? Alright, last move. The book throws, which are skull crushers with butterfly crunches. And I don't know if you noticed, but I was using my 10-pound weights when doing this move the last round, and that's what I'm doing again. And it's not just because my arms are tired, but because you got, you know, when you're throwing something, you got to hold out your arms laterally to at least some degree. and I usually use medium or light weights for a move like that. Probably you could do this with heavier weights though, if you feel like you're up to the challenge, but please don't hurt yourself. I try very hard not to hurt myself, even though I can be very stubborn and I do things that I shouldn't do just because I want to say I did them, but we should all be taking care of ourselves. And done! You did it! Imagine the huge stacks of books that you can carry with you now. Go to the library and check out the max number of books that you can and show off those muscles to the librarians. They're gonna be like, now that's a bookworm. Actually, that's a book dragon, right? Okay, this is one of my favorite stretches. Basically a very deep lunge while twisting toward the supporting or the lunging leg. In a minute we will switch sides. I love the stretch in my legs and in my back and obliques and shoulders. It stretches everywhere and I just adore it. Plus it's a twist, so it goes well with a workout that has a plot twist circuit. Ah, puns, puns, so many glorious puns. And back up. Now I'm gonna do a cliffhanger stretch again. To me it feels almost as good as that other twisty stretch. And your muscles really need it after you worked them so hard, so take your time. In any case, thank you once again for coming here. I'm very proud of you, I'm proud of me, proud of all of us. Please like and subscribe if you are excited for more. Thank you for being here.